I'm a K-I-N-G, baby, I'm all you need. In the off-white Rari, baby, we run the streets. I'm a K-I-N-G, Westside royalty. I'm a K-I-N-G, baby, that's all you need. I'm a K-I-N-G, baby, I'm all you need.
Welcome back. You are on Get It with Stephen Beseda, and we're still in the coronavirus isolation, so we're still using my home office for these, which will probably continue for another couple episodes. Man, it's been crazy. We've been in isolation now for a month, and that's tough. It's definitely tough. So, live here in Southern California. And it's beautiful and sunny out. I've got my little girl, and oh man, being a full-time dad for the most part has been a fun thing, but challenging. So all of you parents out there who are going through these struggles, I get it. I feel you. And we'll talk about this, I'm sure, at some point, have some fun with it. But today I want to talk about why it's important to have 5-year goals. It doesn't matter what your walk of life is. Doesn't matter if you're an employee for someone. It doesn't matter if you're a manager. It doesn't matter if you work for someone or work for yourself. It doesn't matter if you're a student. It doesn't matter if you're a student athlete. It doesn't matter who you are or what your walk is. It's important to have 5-year goals. And this is why. If you want to be successful in anything, it's good to be able to have goals stretched out for 5 years. So I didn't believe in this whole 5-year goal thing until after college. Now, I did have goals. All right, I had goals of being a collegiate athlete. I was a 2-sport collegiate athlete. I had goals of being a professional athlete. I was an amateur athlete. I had goals of just all kinds of goals through my life. I had goals of opening up and starting my own businesses, which I did. But the true 5-year goal plan, where I would come up with a 1-year goal, a 3-year goal, and a 5-year goal, and then I would write it down. I would put it on my bathroom mirror, in front of my computer, in my car, at my office on the desk, or attached to my computer screen. I had to see my goals all the time. And then when I got into starting to do sales for my companies, written down on every whiteboard were my goals, what my goal was for the day, the week, the month, the quarter, the year. Okay, the importance of having goals and then writing them down and sticking them everywhere is because you see it all the time and you're programming your brain to chase those goals. Okay, now what I will say is I was always aggressive in my 5-year goals, but I always completed those goals within 3 years. So then I got crazy aggressive with my 5-year goals, and I actually missed it for the first time ever. That was for when I was 35. So I have my new 5-year goals. I'm turning 38 this year, and I've been able to accomplish some of those goals already. As far as my 1-year, 3-year, and 5-year, and some I haven't. And, the coronavirus definitely put a pause on some of those as well. But, going back to it, if you want to be successful, and we're talking about if you want to be successful. If you don't want to be successful, you like being in a little world of whatever it is, then that's fine. And this podcast, probably not for you. But if you're actually serious about achieving things in your life, and again, personal, work-related, it doesn't matter, set up a 1-year, 3-year, and a 5-year. And then tell some people about it. So you have some accountability partners, people that are going to check in on you, say, hey, how is your goal coming? It's a good thing to have. So for so going back, when I was 25, I had a 5-year goal of buying, if it only happened one time in my whole life, buying a brand new car fresh off the lot. And again, for those of you who don't know me, I grew up low income, low income. I didn't have a lot of nice new things. And so for me, I wanted to have whatever car I wanted. It didn't matter what the car was. One time, any car I wanted, brand new, off the lot. That was my 5-year goal. My 3-year goal was to be able to be debt-free. So by the time I was 28, I wanted to be completely debt-free, 30, have the car. And my 1-year goal at that point in my life was to quit working. I had 2 jobs while running my own company and building my own company. And so my 1-year goal was to get rid of one of my jobs because my business had taken off and was doing well enough. And there were a couple of, there were some personal goals in there, like be debt free, their business. For me, I grew up in a small town and I was always getting pressure about being married and all that. So I think I had being married by 30. Did not make that goal. I met my wife when I was 31, but just, having goals. So having goals based on my faith, goals based on my personal just life and things I want there, business, educational. I still am always growing, developing, and I want to continue to just grow in education stuff. I mean, I'm always trying to be better, and part of it is learning and constantly learning. So anyways, I had all these goals, told a few people about them, and I hit all my goals. I actually hit all my 5-year goals in 3 years. So then when I got to 30, I had a very aggressive new group of goals, and I thankfully hit most of those. And so continue to do that stuff. And, again, in doing those things, and in doing it that way, you're programming yourself. Now, I am a person that always believed that failure was a bad thing. And so I did make goals that were realistic. To some extent, I know, look, if I work really hard, I'm going to hit these goals. But, part of setting even more aggressive goals that you might not be able to hit, that's okay. See, if you're hitting goals, but they were easy or easier, and I'm not saying that my goals were necessarily easier because they weren't, but I didn't really just make the sky's the limit type goals. Hey, I'm going to go for broke on this, and that's what I'm going to do. And if I don't make it, fine, but I'm still going to be, exponentially closer than I was if I hadn't made that goal. And that's fine. Failure's fine. I failed in a lot of things, and it's helped me be successful. And that's why I'm successful, because I took risks, I took chances, I put my neck out there, I did things. I always tell my male high school guys that play for me, dude, if you want to have a beautiful wife, you're going to go have to talk to beautiful girls. If you're just standing against the wall watching and getting upset, you're not going to end up with a beautiful wife. And again, I grew up, I didn't have much confidence at all when I was a kid. As I got older and grew in confidence, I did go talk to the pretty girls. Beforehand, I always watched other people do it, and I was always salty and complaining, and I was one of those guys oh, nice guys finish last. No, nice guys don't finish last. All right, just so we're all on the same page. Guys who don't have nuts and don't take a chance, they finish last. I know plenty of nice guys that finish first, believe me. And again, it's just taking risk, taking chances, right? So the whole point of today's conversation is, look, put some goals in your life. Put them everywhere you're going to see them. Tell a few people about them, and then go for them. And in your, you should be seeing those goals every day. In your mind, you see, look, this is what you're trying to achieve. And again, if you have some lofty goals, you stick them up there. For example, let's say you have a goal of owning 5 homes, 5 rental property homes, and you have no rental property homes right now, and you're working a minimum wage job, and your goal is to have 5 rental property homes. Okay, so you put that out there. Guess you need to start doing some things to get yourself out of the situation you're at with having a minimum wage job, right? You need to apply yourself, get a better paying job, saving money. Maybe it's going to take you a couple of years, but if you're really smart, in a couple of years, you could probably get your first rental property and home. And then you can do it again, and you can do it again, and you can do it again. The point is that if you don't even make those goals, you don't try for anything, then you're being successful at essentially failing anyways, right? Now, let's just say you only get 3 of those properties and 3 homes. Well, you're 3 homes further down the line than you were when you started. That is success. You didn't get 5, who cares? Be aggressive and go after, your next set of goals, put it what you want, and just go after it. But for successful people, okay, successful people, they are goal-oriented people. And that's something that's really important. Most people don't know that. People that are successful, athletes, celebrities, entrepreneurs, the list can go on and on and on. People that are successful have goals. They're constantly driven towards something. Now, I will say that for myself, I have a list of goals. I don't write them down anymore because I'm so driven to achieve my goals and I know what they are. I don't need to see them anymore. But understand, for 15 years, I had goals. I was goal oriented. I was putting those lists everywhere. And I did it up until about last year was when I finally just took my list down, because I'm goal oriented. I'm driven. I'm going to go for it. And that's why I've been able to see success, right? And everybody's got a different opinion of what success is. Some people think success is having $100 million, $10 million, $2 million, whatever it is. Some people think having success is volunteering at the soup kitchen on the weekends or at the Humane Society, whatever it is. Everybody has a different goal of success, or a different idea of what success is. It's hard to find 2 or 3 people that have the exact same version of what success is. Everybody's got a different version of success. You know, for me, success is being able to achieve whatever my goals are, right? The right way, the moral way for me, whatever, you know, what my morals are, and then being able to provide for my family, right? And I've been blessed in being able to do those things. I've really enjoyed the journey and the different businesses I've had. And I've enjoyed the journey of being able to continue to create new things, go down new ventures. I'm actually in the middle right now of looking at opening up a sports complex. And I've looked at a couple of places that were over 100,000 square feet. For me, that would be success. I started off never even thinking that that was possible. So, you know, again, there's different versions and there's different moments of what you're going to find success. Now, again, gone through a lot of failure too. Had a lot of moments where, I'm going to be honest, I'm not an emotional person. I had some moments where life was rough and I was emotional. That's okay. You know, you're going to have those moments because I care. I'm passionate. I'm passionate about being able to provide for my family and make sure I'm bettering their lives. I'm passionate about bettering my own life through continuing to grow in my education. I have 4 books I'm reading right now. And all of them are amazing books and continuing to benefit me and make me stronger, better, and all the things that I need to continue to grow and progress in life. And so, you know, again, I tell everybody, always, always, always focus on self-development and self-improvement too, because that's where you see people that are those ultra successful people. And if you want to say finances is a measurement, the people that are really killing it, the true 1% people, they invest in their growth. Warren Buffett, one of the most wealthy people on the face of the earth, he spends 80% of his time learning. He's been doing that for 30 years, 40 years, maybe longer. He spends a ton of time learning. Bill Gates does the same thing. All really successful people, financially, they spend a lot of time in self-improvement, which is truly amazing. And these are high-functioning, world-changing people. If they're doing it, just understand they're doing it for a reason. And their success shows that. So many people want to resist those things. You know, to be honest, we're typically a lazy society. We go to work, we wake up. You know, if it's Monday morning, probably, you know, lots of people wake up hungover from the weekend, kind of roll into work, just trying to get through your work day, go home. And then it's people, you know, either going to the gym or just going home and eating and then sitting down and watching TV. We all kind of have our little routines, but a lot of times it's unproductive routines. It's things that we're not bettering our lives, right? And so do things that are going to better your life. Even if it's only spending a half hour a day or an hour a day on your lunch break, read a book for a half hour while you're eating lunch, an educational book, a book that's going to help you grow and develop. 3 of the most impactful books I've read to date, and I've read a ton of books. The 3 most impactful books I've read to date. Mindset by Carol Dweck. Phenomenal phenomenal book. I would recommend that to anyone. That changed my life and how I look at things. The second most important book that I've ever read, The One Thing, and I forget who it's written by. I'll find that, but The One Thing, that book was so good that I could only read 1 or 2 chapters at a time because I'm really big on application. When I learn something, I want to apply it to my life right away. Some of that content was so rich with challenging things that I'm guilty of that I would put the book down, leave my bookmarker in it, and I'd work on that one thing. Sometimes I'd work on it for a week before I'd even pick the book up again. The one part that really, really, really got me was about multitasking. I've always prided myself about being, I can multitask and all these things. And what I learned from that book was people that think they're good at multitasking, typically, like, multitasking is not actually a good thing, and they have the stats to show that you're actually wasting time. And if you just focused on whatever your objective was without outside distractions, you're going to be a lot more time efficient. And when I apply that to my life, it was crazy. And again, I'm a guy who owns multiple businesses, has multiple things going on. I have different staffs for different companies. And, just an idea, like my basketball club, I have 3 directors I have to talk to almost every day for 3 different chapters. And we're growing into another couple chapters, and we'll continue to do the same thing. It's, and while I'm managing that, I've got stuff going on with my gym business or my tournament business or whatever the case is, right? Or my speaking business. There's all kinds of stuff going on. The important lesson here is focus on one thing at a time. And when you do that, you'll be more productive. And it was great. And that was just one of the many lessons I took away from that book. And what I would also say is, to the book of The One Thing and Mindset, that's not even books that have to be for people that are entrepreneurs. If you're not an entrepreneur, they're just great books. If you're an athlete, if you have a 9 to 5, it doesn't matter. You're just trying to better your life. Whatever the case is, those are 2 books that just revolutionized my life, truly. And I'm so thankful I read both those books. They were truly, truly, truly monumentally impactful to me. And again, I read books all the time. To be able to pick those 2 books and say those are the 2 most impactful books I've ever read, I'm really being fully transparent, honest here. It's saying something. Read those 2 books and tell me it did not change some part of your life for the better. Now, the third book, it's the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. I love that book. However, it is geared more towards people that are entrepreneurial minded and are trying to really progress in business or some semblance of that aspect. Or you're trying to move up the corporate ladder and really dominate in your workspace. So it is more geared towards those people that really want to be aggressive in their careers. It was really impactful to me because it helped me work through some of my hesitations in life with stuff. Now, I do employ a lot of people, but I myself am a big believer that you don't ask people to do something if you're not willing to do it. Lots of people hate sales. And I get it. I understand it. And a lot of times I've been one of those people where I just didn't like sales. Now, I've had a lot of sales jobs, so I've always done sales, but I'm not always a big fan of having to do sales every day. That's just not always my thing. But because I have to employ people and teach them, right? I do sales every day. And the thing is, for me, it was a mindset thing, which Carol DeWick addresses in her book. And when I was able to change my mindset, change the game. And Grant Cardone also, his book emphasized that a lot, right? And you just have to love certain, like, if you don't love certain things, hire people that are better than you at it, right? But you got to learn just to love everything, right? I think that for me personally, that was one of the biggest things I just took away from his book is, like, he just loves to go, man. And like, this is coming from a guy, like, I go, right? I start my day at 4:30 in the morning, not right now during the coronavirus. I don't start my day that early. But pre the coronavirus, 4:30 in the morning, I was already up. By 5 a.m., I was at my office and I was working. I was already on it. There are some days, because of my daughter, maybe I had to wake up, or I got the chance to sleep in a little bit because I had to take her to school or to a doctor's appointment or whatever the case is. But most of the time, my day starts between 4:30, at the latest 5. And then I just go all day. I would be taking meetings at 9, 10, 11 at night. I wouldn't be getting home till midnight. I have 2 dogs. Got to make sure I take them for their walk because unfortunately, most of the time it's reliant on me. I have to take a shower. Typically, I still had to eat dinner. That's another 30, 40 minutes. And while I'm eating dinner, getting my next day set up so that I can just get up and go. Checking my calendars, making sure that everything was synced. I do have 3 calendars. So I have my calendar on my phone, which is attached to my like Gmail calendar. I had my physical calendar, which was like a big monthly thing on my wall where I could see everything going on. And then I just have my daily planner. I actually think I have my daily planner here somewhere. I put it down. And my daily planner was great because it's just got all kinds of stuff for every day. And it's literally almost a whole sheet. And it's just like starts at 6 a.m. and goes till 9 p.m. And I would just write everything in there that I had going on. They were all great, all of them. And I'm glad that I have all those things to keep me going. And again, I don't want to sit here and take up too much time on this topic, but those are great books. Please read them if you're a motivated person. You're just trying to continue to grow in your personal growth and development. Have that 1 year, that 3 year, that 5 year plan. And once you got through the 5 years, then create a new one. For people that, and I really do think that it's great just to have in general. But if you're a person that's really getting started, this is the best way to get started. Have those plans. Also seek some sort of mentorship. I've always had a couple of business mentors to this day. I always have at least 2 business mentors. And they've changed over time too. Because I don't want to just be selfish and take one person's time or 2 people's time for 15 years. Every few years I have changed business mentors. So my very first 2 business mentors that I ever had, it changed after 3 or 4 years. I got 2 more business mentors, and I had both of them for about 5 years. And I currently have 3 new business mentors, which I've had now for about 3-4 years. And we'll see if I keep them for a whole lot longer. They actually have been great. And since I've gotten so much further along in my life, the amount of time I spend with them is vastly different. It's much more minimal. I maybe speak to them once every 3-4 months, and it's usually really quick conversations. Beforehand, it used to be like every other week for like 2 or 3 hours. So I'll probably have the business mentors I've had now for quite a bit longer, but those are great things to have too. Mentorship is great. My wife and I, we have a marital couple, or a married couple, I should say, who are our marriage couple mentors. They've been married for over 30 years. So I have mentors in other aspects of my life too. It's not just from business. It's also for my marriage. And I'm also a mentor for others. I think that being a mentor is great. It's great to be encouraging and investing in others as well. And so I hope you guys find this encouraging. I hope this was great for you guys. Again, you're on with Stephen Beseda, and this is Get It. If you want to contact me, my Instagram is the easiest way to do it. It's SS, my last name, Beseda, which is B for Brian, E-S-E, D for David, A. Hit me up. I respond to all my messages personally. And I love being able to engage with people there. I hope you guys have a wonderful, and ladies, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay encouraged. This time will pass, and we will figure it out. Have a wonderful day.